California could allow undocumented residents, otherwise known as illegal aliens, to qualify for new state-backed home loan program. This is the geniusness coming out of California right now, amidst a, call it $73 billion state deficit and a homelessness crisis and a affordable housing crisis. But don't worry about that. Let's give some state-backed funding for a home loan program so people without a driver's license or social security number can buy a house, putting further pressure on the supply of housing in California. Should work out fine. Let's get into it. Here we go. So some bleeding heart out there in California is going, we just need to figure out a way for them to get permanent housing and all this will be good. This will all go away. They deserve as much of an opportunity as anybody. Yeah, but look at your own state. Homelessness, probably some of the worst in the world, right? Affordable housing, some of the least affordable housing stock in all of the country. Total lack of supply, complete lack of supply of housing because of policies that have restricted the supply in so many of these cities, in so many of these areas where it's most needed. But now you're going to give people who don't qualify for any other kind of housing the ability to buy a home, further shrinking that. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, right? I mean, it'll be fine. State Assemblyman Hen Aruma, Democrat from Fresno, he addressed a crowd, including farm workers and undocumented workers at Fresno City Hall, March 2023. Aruma has introduced a bill that would let undocumented residents apply for a popular home loan program. So you're going to give people that haven't worked through the process, that haven't become U.S. citizens, you're going to give them an option to compete head to head with folks who have been here maybe all their lives, maybe born and raised here, but you're basically going to take that head start of, I don't know, citizenship and give it to all these other folks coming in and, we'll just see how this goes. We'll just see how this goes. But we really do need some more funding for housing because things are so expensive. Well, when you have very little supply and you keep putting massive demand on it, this furthers that demand, doesn't it? It does. Yeah. But we're going to give it a whirl anyway and just going to see what happens and should be fun. California lawmaker is leading the charge to make undocumented residents eligible for a popular state-backed home loan program weeks before it gives out another $250 million in down payment assistance. Why do you think there is such a vacuum effect for people to come to the United States right now? Because of programs like this. California is already paying for hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants health care, right? Got to get them health care. Right, but you're not giving your own citizens health care. All of this stuff isn't necessarily this equal opportunity, is it? No. You just got to go across that southern border. You got to risk your life getting through that Darien Gap. You got to risk your life on, that big train coming up from southern Mexico into northern Mexico. It's super dangerous stuff, but the reward to these people far outweighs the downside, which is you might get raped, you might get killed, you're probably going to get robbed, all your stuff's going to get stolen, you're going to be real cold, you're going to probably be pretty hungry, you're going to get some kind of bacterial infection because you're going to not have adequate water. You're going to make that run anyway because whatever you're running from is way worse than what you're going to and the process you're going through. I mean, it's just nutty. But we've created this vacuum where this is the thing. Hey, come on in. It'll be good. It'll be good. Assembly member Hen Aruma, Democrat from Fresno, introduced legislation Assembly Bill 1840 last month to expand eligibility for the California Dream for All program, which uses a shared appreciation lending model. While undocumented immigrants have bought homes using lender programs that bypass the need for a social security number for years, the bill would make home buying more accessible for many. All right. You are putting more pressure on the housing stock. So Is that really making it more accessible for everyone? Some would say yes, but not the people that have been here for years and have paid their dues and have been working up to get that down payment together. Now they're competing with the whole another generation of illegals coming in. How is that fair? Well, Sean, it's not always about the fair angle of things. Clearly, right? That's why I'd never live in California. It's crazy stuff like this. It just, you're like, okay, which do you want? You want affordability or do you want accessibility? Because you can't have both. Oh, I think we can. How's that working out for you? How's your affordability right now? How's your resources? How's the resources in San Diego panning out relative to all the illegals just being dumped out on the streets because, the migrant center fell short. They blew through $6 million in expenses. You only had a budget of $3 million. And they ran short of their time period of which they were going to be open for. How's that working out? It's not good, Sean. That's a terrible example. It's a good example for us to talk about because it shows the ridiculousness of so many of these programs. The program is crucial in making home ownership more attainable and strengthening the economic development and quality of life for all of our communities. Let's just see how that works out for you there, Aruma. Let's just see. We'll just see how that goes. All right. I'm looking in from the outside. Oh, wow. Those homes are expensive. Now you've got 14 people bidding on the same home. 6 of them illegal immigrants that have access to this, affordability program, and they're going to do profit sharing basically with the state on the other end. All right. Okay. I mean, I'm a real estate guy, 30 something years of appraising and managing broker for 20 something, but don't listen to me when I say that this puts pressure on housing stock and that makes prices go up and it reduces accessibility for a lot of folks. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. The Dream for All program, which launched last year, intended to help address California's ethnic and racial wealth gap. Okay. You got to kind of let that work itself out. People don't want to work hard. You know what? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough if you're not stealing from somebody and you're trying to work towards something. You're not working that hard. Guess what? You're not going to get anywhere. So there's that, right? It provides home buyers with money towards a down payment, 20% of the home's purchase price, or up to $150K. Now that'll get you pretty much nothing in Cali, right? It'll get you a condo maybe. The homeowner is expected to pay back the loan and share of the appreciation value whenever it sells again. Meanwhile, which is a model that is out there. Meanwhile, you've got a how many billion-dollar deficit going on while you're handing out millions of dollars to people who aren't U.S. citizens, who don't have a social security number. You're handing these millions of dollars out. Okay. All right. Okay. But last year, the program may have worked too well. What did I tell you? The $300 million in loans were claimed in just 11 days. You had a feeding frenzy. Yes, I want a house. It's part of the American dream. It's what they're told. They come here for that dream. I don't blame them for reaching out. If they're eligible, they're eligible. I blame the knuckleheads putting together this stuff and self-proclaiming, hey, we're sanctuary city, but we don't have any affordable housing. There's no affordable housing supply stock here. But anyway, let's give everybody the opportunity to, bid with these, programs, these subsidized programs. It'll be good. Don't follow it to the finish line because things might get a little wacky here. This raised concerns that the program was helping people who could already afford it. So you went through $300 million in loans. There's a massive buildup for people who don't have the ability to afford the down payment for California housing, period. That's why you got all kinds of people clamoring for $300 million in state funding. It's not that hard to figure out. People want the American dream, however they can get in and get that first step along the way, which is buying that entry-level home or condo or whatever it is. We really want to make sure that funds for this round are distributed equitably. What does that mean? What does that even mean? You're not going to probably hand it out to white people? Okay, all right, call it what it is. I don't know. What are you going to do? distributed equitably. You don't have much to go around, especially not in California. So I wouldn't worry about it. That's why I tell people you're never going to solve the affordability complex issue by building your way out of it. Because in these cities, in these states where you've got these massive affordability issues, here in Bellevue, basic entry-level home, $1 million. So you build a bunch more, guess what's going to happen? You've got so much buildup of demand, it's going to sell for $1 million. You're not going to swamp the market with supply. You don't have the ability to do that. You don't have the ability in state like Washington, which has a Growth Management Act, which just constricts the supply of what and where and how can be built. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. And people are like, if we just had some more housing, it'd be cheaper. No, you'd have more housing that's more expensive. Period. This year, the agency will replace its first come, first serve model with a lottery and has a new rule that requires the homeowner to be a first generation home buyer. Isn't that racist right in and of itself? Right? Isn't it? Meaning neither the individual nor their parents could have owned a home. How are they going to check that? Hey, your mom or your dad own a home? No. I mean, how are you going to, what are you going to do? You're going to go back through mortgage records? The whole thing is just so ill-conceived. We want to make this an equitable process. I get where they're coming from, but the whole thing is just head up ass, right? It just is. The program has also lowered its income eligibility threshold from 150% of the county's median area to 120%, meaning they are reducing the eligibility requirements, giving more people the ability to clamor after the $300 million or whatever it is they're going to hand out. In Sacramento County, the income threshold is $180,000. Things are expensive in California, and now you're trying to make them affordable for an entire generation of illegal immigrants coming in. This won't rock the economics of California at all, right? Yeah, it will. That's why I think so many people are frustrated. And I say, hey, let Gruesome Newsom run for the president of the United States. Because there's enough people in California that are like, oh, yeah. He hasn't done a great job here. Why would we hire him for leader of the free world? I mean, we know it's on par with, ice cream eating man, because that guy is literally in cognitive decline, but they're keeping him going with, the senior speed. So he's still up there teetering around on the stage, right? Now, some of these policies, I bet you this one doesn't get through. That would be my guess. It'd be wah, wah, wah. You tried to hand out all the state's money and you couldn't do it. Across the country, lenders have worked with undocumented home buyers for years, and the U.S. does not restrict foreigners from buying real estate. Yeah. What do other countries do? Can you just willy-nilly walk in there and shenanigans like buy a whole bunch of real estate? No. There's a reason for that, right? There's a reason for that. Why are the Chinese buying up U.S. real estate? I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's fine. They're not a mortal enemy of the U.S. or anything. It should be fine. Most use an individual tax identification number or an ITIN instead of, being a documented citizen of the United States. Around 22% of the undocumented population in California, or 604,000 people, owned homes in 2019, according to Migration Policy Institute. Nationwide, undocumented homeowners are estimated to contribute $3.6 billion in property taxes each year. We have a new form. It's called the FERPTA form, and it is to identify whether the seller in a real estate transaction is a U.S. citizen or not. And if they are not, then those taxes on whatever taxes are owed on the sale of the home, those get taken out at escrow, because you've had so many people that are foreign homeowners sell real estate in the United States. And guess what? They skipped out and they didn't pay to the IRS what they owed. Huh. Interesting. They just said, yep, come find me in China. U.S. doesn't have much jurisdiction in China. I don't know if you knew this, but that is a thing. The ITINs, the individual, whatever it is, were created by the IRS to ensure foreign nationals and other individuals pay taxes even if they do not have a social security number. How about you just don't let them buy real estate here? I don't know. How about you restrict that? Come up with that. No, we just got to let everybody buy everything. It should be fine. The numbers can also be used to open bank accounts and qualify for a mortgage on a home. But the down payments and interest rates will often be higher for these applicants because they do not have the typical credit lines of U.S. citizens or credit history. It's another huge thing here. We're going to give them just a hall pass for those. A lot of these entry-level home buying programs, you've got, all right, here's your modified credit score that they can have. All right, we're going to try and, do our best to get these people a home. Meanwhile, you've got Generation Z and Y and Millennials that are struggling, just trying to figure out which way is up. How do I save enough to get a home? And they're 100% correct. That is who should have a problem with this, big time, but they don't because they don't have the perspective. They're trying to get together enough money to afford a home in these expensive areas. So they're head down just trying to do that. They're not worried about what some joker is giving away as far as state funds for affordable housing program. So these increased payments become the major hurdles for many ITIN applicants to buy homes, said Franco Garcia, our Sacramento realtor. Interest rates, down payments and interest rates will be higher because we're not giving away homes, but we are. This is a program designed to give away homes to illegals. All right. Yeah. If there was a less burdensome entry point, I think many more people who want to buy would buy. Well, yeah, but that's saying, okay, if the cars were a little bit cheaper, if cars were only $10, everybody'd be able to afford to drive one. Okay. Yep. That is true. You are not wrong, Mr. Garcia. Arumula's legislation may have a stronger possibility of passing in comparison to other bills aimed at helping undocumented residents, given that it would not affect the state budget or worsen the deficit. In the last 2 years, Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed legislation that would have provided some undocumented residents unemployment insurance and cash assistance due to financial costs. California has gone bent over backwards. Healthcare, housing, food stamps, you name it, the benefits are there. And that's why so many of these folks want to go to California. Hey, it's the American dream. I get to see the Pacific Ocean, get all my bills paid for a while, whatever that looks like. It's the American dream. It's literally the American dream. And the word has gotten out throughout the United States that this is go time. This is opportunity time for them to get into California and create their life here. And now the state doesn't have the resources to do it. They're saying that this program wouldn't take away funds, doesn't create more deficit. But what if we didn't give this money away and we actually put it towards the deficit? Oh, Sean, that's far too reasonable. You can't have that. You got to just give these millions of dollars away. It's California. It's what we're doing. It's what Governor Gavin Newsom is doing. It's what this dude, politician here, is doing. Just figure out a way to give all our money away from our tax-paying citizens and just see where it takes us. It takes us to a reimagined, rethought, better place. Now you're bankrupting California, literally, in real time, as we watch. And the guy that's in, charge of doing that, Governor Newsom, he may be our fearless leader of the free world at some point in time, or he's going to run and he's going to try, right? So it's programs like these to me that are just so, what did you think was going to happen? How did you think housing got so expensive? Programs like these. Wild stuff. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. I will catch up with you in the next one. Until then, take care. I'll see you then. Bye for now.